Pope John Paul I, number 109 of 112, his phrase, of the half of the moon. History records that Albino Luciani, born in Canale di Argado, Diocese of Belluno, beautiful moon, he was elected Pope on August the 26th. His reign lasted about a month, from half a moon to the next half. In May 1977, Cardinal Albino Luciano celebrated the 60th anniversary of Fatima by leading a pilgrimage from Venice to the Cove of Irene. Afterwards, Sister Lucia asked to speak to him. They spoke in private for 2 hours. Witnesses said that he was pale and shaken after their meeting. This condition persisted for several months after his return to Venice. In 1978, Cardinal Luciano was elected Pope. His pontificate lasted only 33 days. He died in circumstances that were never clarified. Contrary to Vatican custom, no autopsy was ever performed. It is widely believed that Pope John Paul I was assassinated by poisoning from within the Vatican, and several books have been published about this. He didn't have time to release the Third Secret, being more concerned with fixing problems of Masonic infiltration into the higher realms of the Church and other sordid matters dealt with elsewhere, such as money laundering through the Vatican Bank, etc. Clearly, he did not succeed. Pope John Paul II, 1978 to 2005, number 110 of 112, his phrase, De laboris solis, of the Son's labor. What most marked his pontificate was his work, his labor, to bring the light of the gospel to all continents of the world. He apparently traveled more than all the other popes in history put together. He labored to make the faith grow in the whole world. Pope John Paul II was shot in St. Peter's Square on May the 13th, 1981, on the 63rd anniversary of the first apparition. He survived the attempted assassination and attributed his survival to a special intervention, a miracle of the Madonna of Fatima. But was it really a miracle, or was that just a personal interpretation? The Roman Catholic Church finally decided to release the Third Secret in the Jubilee year of 2000. It was a moment that the world had waited for. National newspapers from London to Los Angeles covered the story on their front pages. The world had not forgotten about the Third Secret of Fatima. The published text. At the left of Our Lady and a little above, we saw an angel with a flaming sword in his left hand. Flashing it gave out flames that looked as though they would set the world on fire, but they died out in contact with the splendor of Our Lady radiating towards him from her right hand. Pointing to the earth with his right hand, the angel cried out in a loud voice, "Penance, penance, penance." The angel is clearly the angel from the book of Genesis who guards the way to the tree of life after the fall. It is as though the angel would destroy the world if it were not for the grace and mercy of the new covenant that Our Lady, the mother of the Messiah, represents. Instead, the angel cries out, "Penance, penance, penance." In the book of Genesis, this angel was given the responsibility of guarding and keeping the way to the tree of life. The sins of contraception and abortion are a direct attack, a direct assault on the tree of life. The action of the angel in the vision indicates that the angel would destroy humanity for its sins if it were not for the patience and mercy of the new covenant that offers forgiveness and redemption. Our Lady represents the model and example for women to follow in order to avoid sins of the flesh against the tree of life. And we saw in an immense light that is God a bishop dressed in white. We had the impression that it was the Holy Father, that is the Pope. Other bishops, priests, men and women, religious were going up a steep mountain at the top of which there was a big cross of rough-hewn trunks. Before reaching there, the Holy Father passed through a big city, half in ruins and half trembling with halting steps, afflicted with pain and sorrow. He prayed for the souls of the corpses he met on his way. Having reached the top of the mountain, on his knees he was killed by a group of soldiers who fired bullets and arrows at him. In the same way, there died, one after another, bishops, priests, men and women, religious, and various lay people of different ranks and positions. Beneath the two arms of the cross, there were two angels, each with a crystal container in his hands, in which they gathered the blood of the martyrs, and with it sprinkled the souls that were making their way to God. Anyone can see that this is a description of persecution during a war. The church is persecuted, the Pope is executed. The same fate befalls bishops, priests, and other religious, and lay believers too. It's not a very comforting vision. One can see perhaps why the various popes refused to reveal the text. In the year 2000, the Vatican offered its interpretation. They said it is an account of the attempted assassination of Pope John Paul II. This simply contradicts the revealed words. There is no mention of the angel with the flaming sword. Perhaps for them, the angel of God is an embarrassment. Pope John Paul II died in 2005. Returning to the prophecy of St. Malachy, Pope John Paul II was succeeded by Pope Benedict XVI. Number 111 of 112 is phrased, the glory of the olive. The olive branch is the symbol of the Benedictines, although he took the name partly to honor Pope Benedict XV, the Pope of Peace and Reconciliation. The final pope of the prophecy of popes of St. Malachy is Peter the Roman. The following words are written in Latin concerning his pontificate. In extreme persecution, the seat of the Holy Roman Church will be occupied by Peter the Roman, who will feed the sheep through many tribulations, at the end of which the city of 7 hills will be destroyed, and the formidable judge will judge his people. The end. It is clear how the Third Secret of Fatima coincides with and applies to the description of the final pope. The Third Secret describes extreme persecution, the execution of the Pope and the faithful. A city half destroyed is also mentioned in the Third Secret, whereas Malachy saw that the city of 7 hills will be destroyed. Rome is the city of 7 hills. It is perhaps ironic that the Church will be persecuted for its ethical position on contraception, abortion, and homosexuality. The angel with the flaming sword called for penance because humanity has taken a turn for the worst. It is difficult for people to see, but the whole trajectory of development based on birth control and endless economic development is an abomination to God. Here we have two diverse sources that coincide perfectly, one from the 12th century and one from the 20th. It is absolutely certain that the children of Fatima knew nothing about the prophecies of St. Malachy.